Of course he has to post a fucking content nuke part 2 while I'm walking my dogs. Of course he has to post it during that point in time. And I can't I can't be present for when he actually goes live on his own. Okay, that's nice. I'm gonna move some tabs over. I'm gonna try and make this nice and optimized, or at least. Hello, Lengthy Guts. Hello, Fox. Hello. I just got off of work and I can't stay here, but say fuck Ice, and I hope you have a lovely stream. Hell yeah, fuck Ice. Hey, Orp, how's it going? Just kind of looking here, making sure everything is good and Gucci. I sort of had to scramble to get it going. Okay, I think we should be good. I'm doing good. That's good. I kind of had to scramble a little bit. I'm going to put the mic here because I kind of like the mic asset. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the mic there? I know it's a PNG. We'll probably get a drawn asset at some point to match the art style, but I kind of like the mic being there. I don't know. I feel like it kind of gives to the whole, adds to the whole like rambling aspect that I do. But I was kind of called this video to be posted when I heard that apparently, hell yeah. I find it cool, mister. Hell yeah. What's good? We might have Crash Out Part 2 here. So, no pixelated, not pixelated enough? Okay, we'll get a pixelated asset. We'll get a low poly. How's that? We'll get a low poly version. So I've low-key been following this pretty extensively. The H3 Crash Out with Hassan. Mostly because I used to be a big fan of H3, or Ethan, I should say. And then after his first content nuke on Hassan, it sort of broke me out of my trance, or broke me out of my my bias towards him, and it was like, no, this is not good. This is bad. And I have not watched this video. But the fact that he says, I'm suing 3 creators in the title alone is concerning. Because what? This is like now, like what? The 4th, 5th, 6th person he's sued? Or been in a lawsuit with? Like, I know there was the time he tried suing anonymous Redditors. Anonymous Redditors from a Snark Reddit. He tried suing them to get their personal information. I know he's threatened to sue Noah Sampson. So that's 2. And if we're adding 3 to this, that's 5. Place your bets on who he's suing. If Hassan is not one of them, I'd be surprised. He, in the thumbnail, and I'll pull up the thumbnail here. Is there any hints on the thumbnail, or is he just holding up a basic... okay. This image isn't even, like, a fucking high-quality image. It's not even a high-res. I just realized that. It's only 480 by 360. That's interesting. And maybe that's just because it hasn't fully, like, rendered yet. But usually, vidIQ does a pretty good job at capturing thumbnails. Like, you could go through several videos and you could probably find them. Is the original content nuke the same low quality, or no? It's not. It's a full res. I'm sorry. This is just a little specific thing that I'm noticing. I'm sorry. Why is it such a low quality? Dranger Cinema's gone to Ethan Hard. iDubbbz, Hassan, Noah Sampson. I could say that I would put Demers in there, or Denims in there. Demers is the person, or is okay, hold on. Denims is the person that Ethan accused initially of sending CPS to his house, and then even made a fake screenshot of her chat to show on his live stream. But I'd be shocked if he put Denims in the list. I'd be shocked. Ethan Globe really got to him looking a hairless chimp. God damn. Well, we've stalled long enough, I think. I think volume should be good.
Hi there. My name is Ethan Klein, and my favorite hobby is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers. Today, I invite you into my home to share my favorite pastime with you. Join me in creating generational wealth for my attorney. Let me tell you guys a story.
So that was the opening joke, or I'm assuming that was the opening gag. I'm assuming that was done to poke fun at the fact that he's spending a lot of money on lawyers. I'd assume so, but it's not like, bro, it's true. You are spending a lot of money on lawyers. You know? No one clap, denim spotted.
About a year and a half ago, there's a big conversation called ReactGate. ReactGate was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use. People like Hassan, XQC, and many of the large Twitch streamers would watch other creators' entire video on their stream. They would rarely add sufficient commentary or even pause the video to speak. Most egregiously, they would...
Interestingly, that he doesn't actually show the clips from the... Wait a minute. What? Where's the... Wait. Where's the runtime? You can see the runtime on the second screenshot here, but not the first one. And it's not like there isn't merit to this. Like, there's absolutely creators who, like, literally don't react to stuff. Hold on, let's see. The... Cination. Okay, we found it. Oh! Okay! So you guys want to know why he doesn't show the thumbnail, the actual, like, original thumbnail for the video? Or, like, the timestamp in the second, in the Hassan's thumbnail here? It's over 2 hours! Hassan nearly adds an hour's worth of commentary on top of the original video. And notice that it's not his channel. It's just fan channels. And literally the VOD in question that this React video comes from is a 9-hour VOD. Like, this is XQC's official channel. And you can see on XQC's channel, it's got like 1 hour, 53 minutes. Compare that to the video here, which is about 1 hour, 38 minutes. So, like, essentially, XQC only added in about 20 minutes worth of commentary. Meanwhile, Hassan adds in at least an hour's worth. That's kind of lame. Yeah. And I mean, like, there is credibility to be had for streamers who react to stuff and don't add commentary to it. Trust me, I am one of those people that hate that style of React channel. It's why I don't watch Fillion. It's honestly why I don't watch a lot of VTuber channels in general, because a lot of VTuber channels nowadays are just like, VTuber reacts to viral video and doesn't necessarily add much commentary to it, or they just, like, emphasize the jokes already being made in the video, or they just go off on a tangent that's unrelated to the video. In an attempt for humor. Interesting that he leaves out the runtime in the video, you know?
They would re-upload the entire VOD to YouTube with the same thumbnail, the same title, so that they could cannibalize traffic from the original video. Here's what Lamino had to say about this phenomenon.
I don't mind people reacting to my videos, but I do mind when they play the entirety of my video. A face cam in the corner or the occasional interruption does nothing to address that issue. My video is still being played from beginning to end in someone else's stream or video. It's neither ethical nor necessary to feature the entirety of someone else's work, or they could do the bare minimum and ask for permission. Something that none of the major reaction channels have ever done when they've streamed or re-uploaded my videos. But to answer your question, no, I don't want people to stream or re-upload the entirety of my videos.
Now
Okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. That's absolutely fair on his opinion to have. However, the example that Ethan uses here.
Does not mean.
Hold on, I just want to see where the video, like where Lem's comments is. Because I'm pretty sure this drama was in relation to XQC. I'm pretty sure this was in relation to XQC because as I'd already shown, XQC was the one who posted it. It is a bit useless just to do, but instead of cutting it into a short, especially if they have the time to edit, cut parts out. Yeah. VTuber reactions seem like a lazy way on their end. I mean, it's easy traction for sure. Like, again, there is credibility to the claim here. But I feel like it's a bit disingenuous to mention Hassan in this example. Because, again, as we look at the actual uploads of the reactions, if you go search up literally Lemino Kennedy assassination reaction, the first one is literally XQC. There is a Hassan one, but the Hassan one's over 2 hours long. And it's also not Hassan's main channel. This is not Hassan's main channel.
Bro, just...
This is not Hassan's channel. All I do is I do all of the editing or all the video editing myself with permission from Hassan. Unless otherwise mentioned, all graphics, animation, sound bites, audio effects, or other external information that is edited in was created by me for the express purpose of improving the video presentation and quality. I use Premiere, okay? So again, this is not Hassan. This is not Hassan's channel. This is not Hassan's channel at all. Meanwhile, hold on, let me go reopen that. My bad. I didn't mean to close that. However, when you go to the actual reacts, I'm pretty sure he's referring to XQC here. I'm pretty sure he's referring to XQC. I don't think he's referring to, like, Hassan, which is weird to include him in that example.
Understandably, this made a lot of people angry because why should these content thieves, essentially, get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening? I mean, people don't like injustice, and we all see this, and no, it's not right. This debate culminated when XQC, one of the prime suspects, called into my show to debate me, in which case I'm sad to report that I was terribly owned. So in that regard, do you care at all about like IP or copyright? Or like the fact that it's illegal, does that matter? That it might be illegal, does that matter to you?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if flat out doesn't.
So is he suing?
Well, that's fair.
Watch me full screen cam, do the fucking worm, then watch your
Do
prime.
that.
Then watch
Bro,
your prime
do
content.
it for a week. Do a week of no reaction
People don't like
content and see how
injustice?
many
Yeah.
fucking views you get. Oh, okay, sure.
I remember this.
I mean, that's content, man. It's original content, at least. The ultimate debate, bro.
What does this have to do with... are you suing XQC? Are you... Yeah. Bro, I wouldn't even say Gyat. Saying Gyat to that is like... I've seen XQC in real life. He's a twink. But he's not even a thick twink. He's just a twink. He's just like a stick figure. He's a what now? He's a stick figure. Figure. I didn't say finger. No. But it is weird. I guess, is Ethan going to sue XQC?
He hit him with the worm. Oh, why didn't I think of that
Two losers
first?
fighting.
I kid XQC, but he is not the one I'm suing. Despite my criticism, he's not a malicious infringer. But the ones I am suing, you'll see, are much, much worse.
Then why are you talking about him? Like, why are you talking about that? Is it just so then that way it makes you look good? Bro.
Now, ironically, after this debate and in the wake of this large conversation, the problem seems to have only gotten worse. You have people like Hassan Piker paving the way of fair use with what's known as chair reacts, when Hassan gets up to go to the bathroom, or to eat, or to talk to his mom, or to do whatever, disappears for an extended period of time and leaves the video playing for his chair. Mr. Chair, they call it.
IDF had warned people to leave the area around the main airport in Sana.
Damn, he goes to the bathroom.
This operation will result in killing hostages in captivity.
Yeah.
Will result in the death of 30.
Insane, but agreed. You guys know that he streams like 8 to 9 hours a day, right? He streams 8 to 9 hours a day. Yeah. Do you guys not know that? He's got to get up sometimes. Exactly. Like let's go to him right now. Let's literally go to him right now. He is currently streaming. He has been streaming for 3 hours. Now let's go to his channel. Let's go to the main channel here. How long does he usually stream? What are his VODs? All recent broadcasts. Wow, 10 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, nearly 8 hours, nearly 9 hours, over 9 hours, 7.5 hours, a 4-hour stream here, 3.5 hour stream here, but I think these are the same day. I think these are the same day, so let's go 8 hours. Oh, nearly 9 hours, over 10 hours, over 8 hours. Like, yeah, he's got to get up and piss, dude. He's got to get up and pee. No one's going to sit down in a chair. I have to get up and pee. And get food and water. Yeah. How dare he get up for like 5 minutes to go piss? How dare he? And this is on his Twitch streams. These aren't on YouTube, so it's not competing with his other channel. Or with the channel that's posting. And if you actually go back into the content nuke, right? Let's look at the stuff that he's reacting to. News. TikTok, news. It's a bunch of fucking news, my guy. It's a bunch of fucking news that's publicly accessible and is meant for this kind of content. Look at all of it. Won't someone think of the... Won't anyone think of the poor BBC? Man, won't anyone think of CNN? Their copyright is being infringed.
This operation will result in killing hostages in captivity.
Damn, he thinks this is a good argument. He thinks this is a good argument.
And it was in this setting
That's
that I
it?
formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist? They couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published.
I don't have an issue with them.
Is he referring to his
It's not that I
content?
wanted
Duke?
these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew.
You demanded What? Ethan, you demanded Hassan watch your video constantly, repeatedly, over and over and over again, my guy. And he refused. He didn't even watch it until there was more of an incentive to do so after your debate to raise money for charity. Because you kept attacking another charity. Holy shit, dude.
They would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even better than I imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now the thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example,
What?
Denim sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership. She's working directly with the Snark subreddit moderators to siphon views. And
How do you know this? Why are you assuming this? Let's see. What does the post say? Hey, everyone. I've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for Ethan. There are several creators that have mentioned planning to stream their reacts or post their reacts in the coming days. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly or citing our posts in the critiques of H3. If you're planning on watching along with any of them, we ask that you carry out our subs rules into its spaces. Now, can you show me an example where they were actually being cited?
Their intentions couldn't be clearer. Here's an excerpt from a stickied post from the Snark subreddit.
Notice how Hassan's not in the list either, by the way.
Hey everyone, we've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for H3. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly.
He might
or
be on a
citing
new
our
level of
posts in
rage
their
baiter.
critique of H3.
I don't even know if this is rage bait. I think this is just coping because he was demanding people watch this video. And it's not like the nuke was successful. Like, let's look at his YouTube channel. Let's look at the YouTube channel. The nuke itself only has 3.5 million views. It only has 3.5. But when you compare it to his other content here, where he calls out other people, like he's made React content before calling out people in the past, like Logan Paul or Jake Paul here. He's made stuff about Prank Invasion. Logan Paul, of course, there he is. Tech Rex, the CSGO Lotto situation. Again, more Keemstar, the original one, had 8.5 million views. All of these videos have over 8 million views. Rice Gum. Again, another Logan Paul or Jake Paul video. When it comes to an actual call-out video, in terms of like the viewership that he gets, he failed hard with that with that content nuke.
Hey man,
with that content nuke. I don't know why I went to that one. Yeah, only 3.5, and it did immense damage to Ethan's reputation with people who grew up, with people who actually watch and follow politics. It kind of just basically painted Ethan not only as a Zionist, but it also painted Ethan as a racist towards Arabs. And the debate with Hassan only further showcased that.
H3. Here they're offering these streamers as market substitutes for my work. This is the cardinal sin of copyright infringement. The Snark subreddit has been a frequent and persistent infringer.
That's not... They're not substitutes to the content nuke. They are substitutes to the streams that are supporting Ethan during the content nuke. Or maybe, just maybe, it's people offering criticism, offering another perspective. It's not like these channels are just like restreaming the content nuke without any criticism. You can show any like clip of like, you know, Denim's just silently watching the video that's only like a few seconds long that you have to speed up. But it's not like she didn't also provide commentary throughout it. And she's a live streamer. She doesn't post these edited VODs. God.
That's how I knew when this video came out, the Snarkers were going to encourage, promote, and push streamers to commit copyright infringement. I should thank the Snarkers, actually. Because of their predictability, they acted like double agents for us, incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter. So, thank you, Snark. It's one thing for a subreddit to admit it's engaging in copyright infringement, but how do you get the streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content?
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
It turns out they just do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denim's the queen of self-owning. You prevail again.
Man, it's so sad watching this, actually. Like, Ethan used to be the guy who stood for fair use. You know, he was up against a lawsuit years ago, helped change YouTube for the better when it came to copyright and also fair use. Now, here he is suing anyone who dislikes, like, now here he is just ready to sue anyone who criticizes him, who... Glitter. Thank you for the follow. What a name. Ethan is going crazy. He is. I think he's just trying to cope with the fact that he's wrong. He's just wrong. And now he's suing any streamer who streamed his video and gave criticism. And he's now misrepresenting them, just like how he did in the Hassan content nuke. It's such a fall off, man. It's such a fall off. It's actually tragic. I used to watch this guy. I used to watch Ethan all the time when I was a kid, and even in college. When I was in college, I watched Ethan, and I liked the fact that he would be always willing to take a joke towards himself. He'd always take a shot towards himself. He'd always he wouldn't be afraid of presenting himself in a silly manner, make fun of himself in terms of how he appears, or portray himself as a goofy character, just completely disregarding how he looks in public in terms of like the character he's playing as. And now it's like he can't take a fucking shot at all without being without threatening to sue somebody. It's such a fall off, man.
There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker content nuke with the United States Library of Congress. Some of you guys out there sweating?
No.
Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear.
So you're going to go after the people who fucking criticized you. Holy shit. No way, bro. You're just going to just straight up say that. I don't want to scare the reaction community. I just want to scare the people who criticized me the most. Long time no see. Hey, Bear, how's it going? Holy shit, bro.
Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
The state of react.
You know what? I want to see something here. I want to look up nuke. I want to look at what the content nuke on Ethan Klein is nearly 4 hours long. You're going to tell me that she didn't provide any commentary in this entire section. I want to see if I can find... Also, this is just an archive channel. Fan ran. This is a fan run channel. I want to see where Ethan got this bit, because let's see. There's people outside.
5, 4, 3, H3H2.
All right, he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He's not a liar. He's not a liar. I'll give him that much. All right, I'll give him that much. Let's see if he has any final words before.
I'm just trying to like skim and scam through the video.
We're gonna end right now, but I posted.
I just want to see if I can find where Denham's got up.
Wow.
Because it looks like she's there the whole time and she's giving commentary to
H3's Productions channel. Watch it, enjoy it. Can't wait to see what you guys think about it. This is our special Friday from the silo, from the Fallout bunker. Wishing you a happy weekend, and we will be back for the Fallout.
Where?
On Monday.
I do not see it.
I was gonna say if he didn't do it. Well, let's see. If he didn't do it,
I do not see it. When does she
he
get up?
Keep his word. I think he did it. I think he made it.
When does she get up? When does she get up? When does she get up?
What is this intro? He's putting in Oppenheimer's.
So literally after nearly 4 hours is when this portion happens.
We all recall YouTube's adpocalypse. It happened when ads were running over ISIS recruitment videos, and it caused a brand exodus. The same thing is happening now on Twitch, but instead of ISIS, it's the Houthis, Hamas, and Hezbollah. Dan Clancy's refusal to moderate extremists is the only reason for any of this. He is the sole person to blame. He had so many opportunities to stop this. Ultimately, after dedicating months of my life to creating this video, I'm left with
I won't admit that, man. Come on, just a little self-respect.
one overwhelming conclusion.
Don't do that. Don't.
Fuck this dude.
Wow, that's gotta be like top 5 worst videos I've ever seen in my fucking life. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That was pretty dog shit. I'm gonna be honest. I never want to see anything like that ever again. Please, I'm begging you, Ethan Klein, stop making videos. They're not good. If that was months of labor, you should reconsider doing that. That's not good. That's not good. Can we look at comments? I mean, one thing I can say for sure is like a lot of people came to rapidly like and dislike the video. Okay, there's nothing interesting here. It actually is kind of, yes, it's actually. And I know that he's bragging about it on his timeline. Someone sent this earlier. His response is 100% predicted. Say it's bad. Say everyone thinks it's bad. Call me dumb. Wait for your friends to clip tiny moments. And the most important part, never watch the video. Too risky. Yeah, sure.
My professor would film me and I turned in this quality of video.
Literally, he's begging people to watch the video. He's literally...
I think you said fail me for a second. I was very concerned, and then I had to go back up and read that you said fail me. Back at, thank you for the 5 gifts. Thank you. Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. 10-hour stream. This is the longest stream I've done in a while, actually. Pog, sick. I appreciated you guys tuning in with me, because I'm going to be honest, I did not want to watch that by myself. That's torture. That's torture. That actually would be torture to do that by myself.
Notice how he removes audio, specific bits of audio, to then make it sound worse. This is genuinely, like, atrocious.
Content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey, I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment. And with people like Hassan reacting to entire TV shows on stream, my fear is that Sony or Disney comes along, sues everybody, and sets a devastating precedent that could endanger our entire field. Now, before I tell you who the 3 people I'm suing are,
Okay, so there's a little bit of credence to that. However, the context is different. Because the clips that are being reacted to on Twitch, first of all, that Hassan clip is from years ago. That was under the old administration. That was under the old administration of Twitch. Remember, back in 2023, that's when Dan Clancy stepped in and essentially reshaped or restacked the deck in terms of bringing in new people, switching out the old guard and bringing in new people. Amazon also played a role in this, because Amazon wants Twitch to make money. So that's a really old clip, which had different TOS. And that TOS has changed since then. Almost 8 minutes in. Get to it, Ethan. Also, really bad still. Really bad still. God damn. It's like I'm about to deep throat the microphone. But secondly, a lot of clips nowadays from TV shows are on YouTube themselves. They're meant to be on YouTube for people to enjoy. And they often get used in those kind of react streams. Or it's fan-made compilations from those clips. You can watch Hell's Kitchen on... You can watch all of Hell's Kitchen. You can watch all of fucking Kitchen Nightmares. Like, guys. I almost spelled nightmares wrong. You can watch whole episodes of Kitchen Nightmares on YouTube right now. Full episodes right here. I don't know if, right here. Full episodes. Now let's look at MasterChef. Let's look at MasterChef. Oh, look at that. Full episodes. Season 4. Let's take a look. MasterChef All. Is this an official channel? Yes or no? Let's see. USA All. Please enjoy and drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for 500 subscribers. Aim for 1,000. Okay, this might be a channel that actually is breaking the rules. This could be a channel that's actually breaking the rules. However, this is more of a damnation on YouTube, if anything. Upload them themselves. Ad revenue, baby. Ad revenue, but also it gets people to react to them on stream. Because let's say Hassan's watching clips or moments from MasterChef, right? And then you're like, huh, I remember that episode. I wonder what else happened in that episode or what happened in that season. I'm going to go check out MasterChef. It's kind of like a subliminal way of getting people to check out creators or check out content. Without necessarily just outright telling people to go watch it, you know? There's so much 2000s British shows. I love that for me and my trashy TV taste. Exactly. And I don't think this is an issue with Twitch specifically. I think it's an issue on... If there's anybody who has an issue with it, it's on YouTube.
I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific high bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender.
They were targeted based off of whether or not they shit-talked me.
Their identity, their political beliefs. All three are on this list.
Okay, so...
In fact, they're the only three, as far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video.
Okay, so... Already, you've already fucked yourself here, Ethan. You've already fucked yourself. And I'll tell you why. Because you are saying that it's three people on here, which I'm going to say it's Frogan, Denims, maybe North Star Radio, or Comrade Casey. But Comrade Casey's never reposted the full content nuke. Reaction content is allowed? Lol. But the thing is that Ethan already established that he isn't going after all creators. He literally specifically said that
C and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't...
Why not? Why not sue those guys? Why not, Ethan? Why aren't you going to sue them? Why not? Hey, Gamma, why aren't you going to sue them, Ethan? They uploaded they watched the whole thing. By your definition, they should be in violation. And, if anything, they are the two biggest channels. Thank you. Oh, I'm facing major karma? I did. So why not go for those two? Oh, I know why. Because those two channels did not criticize you. If anything, they just ate up the bullshit that you plastered out there. God, Ethan is so pathetic. Ethan is so pathetic, bro.
Can I walk away?
Ripping, please. The only three, as far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video. Drum roll, please. Who's sweating at home, guys? Casey Tron, the queen of ripping farts and bong loads.
They do musicals. They're very musical people.
Okay.
Are you being serious? Dog, what do you... Look! You think I made this?
Frogan, who, bless her soul, she's still rising.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom? Do I have permission? Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happened?
And Denim.
I wonder what happened. Oh, did she go back and watch it? Or are we just going to leave it at that? How dare you go to the bathroom while watching my video? He's demanding people watch his shit, bro. You are not allowed to get up and pee. You're not allowed to get up and pee, bro. Not allowed to get up and pee. No pissing. No more pissing. No more Fortnite. No more pissing for you. Actually insane. Actually insane. How I'm going to sue you if you piss. You piss in the chair right now while you're watching my content nuke. I also don't know who the first person is. Like, he's barely talked about her. And the fact that I don't even know who she is, I'm more willing to suspect that she's probably a very small creator. He wants to put Tariff on piss. Casey Tron is a figure you see on Twitter. Oh, is she? She's fairly noticeable on Twitter. Okay. I've never seen her content. What's her YouTube, though? That's my question. What's her YouTube? I'll check out what the YouTube is. Oh, she's got a pretty decent following, actually. Okay, so she is pretty large. I guess she's just not on my radar a lot. Where is the nuke? Now, here's the question. So she doesn't get a ton of views. Did she ever upload the video? No. He's talking about it on his podcast. Okay, well, I guess we got... He is suing Denims! No way, bro! Pissgate is real! Pissgate is real, everybody! Holy shit! That's hilarious. I can't believe this. But Ethan Klein. He's attacking women. Yeah, he's just attacking women. There are so many other creators that he could have gone after, and he has named 2 of them. Specifically 2 of them. And also, again, if we're looking at specifically creators, if we're going to judge by revenue, it looks like Casey doesn't get a lot of views. Oh, she's leaving YouTube. She has left YouTube for the most part. She left YouTube 3 years ago. Okay. So she doesn't... It's important she's on Twitch. I think it's important to remember as well. Only attacks women, to be honest, and the ones that he gets the most views from coattails off of misogyny and someone else's success. I also think that he's targeting these creators because, like, he thinks that he can bully them. Like, he's a massive channel. This is the thing that's important to remember. Ethan is a millionaire. Ethan is a multi-millionaire. He lives in a mansion in Bel Air, and he uses his wealth to impose his will onto other people. Notice how he never sued Noah Sampson, by the way. He has not sued Noah Sampson yet. He said he was going to, but he never did. Who is he choosing to go after instead? 3 women. Even though he's named 2 other creators, 2 male creators, that he could have sued, but he's not going to. Why? Well, because they didn't criticize him. Because they stroke his ego. They give him views.
The queen of self-owning. And my God, is she the queen of that?
It's very obvious from the way that guy's talking, he's a Sneeko fan.
Oh my God, bro, I love you. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have...
No way! He's regurgitating talking points from his content nuke. He's regurgitating talking points from his content nuke. Talking points he backtracked on in the debate. In the debate with Hassan. Ethan literally conceded to the fact that he was a Sneeko fan. Hassan showed proof that the guy had no idea who Hassan was and only approached Hassan when he realized who he was and was like, I could get some views from this. When I submit my thesis on ACS, I'm going to cite my previous work. I never seen you without the mask. Yeah, oh, trust me. Yeah, there's redeem. But I took off the mask just so you guys could see the expression I have. Because I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I didn't think he would regurgitate talking points from it. I didn't think he would go that low. Hold on. Let's go to the debate. I want to see... Well, there's one where he's threatening to sue Redditors. Let me see here. I need to see... I'm trying to see... Because I know it comes up in this. Ethan tries to pull up the video to Hassan. Mask on. Mask on. Oh. Idea of terrorist organization. I need to see where the clip is. Maybe it is. Oh, mask off. Okay. I need to see where the clip is. Maybe it's... I don't remember the time code specifically. Let me see. I need to see... where it is specifically. Because I know Ethan pulls it up. I just don't know the time code specifically. Now, let the boy be expressive. I mean, I can be expressive with the mask on. It's just that I have to be more deliberate with the mask because it's all by button prompts. I don't know where it is. It's mentioned, but it is like...
You have claimed falsely that I do not recognize the testimony of a sexual assault that took place in captivity. That was false. Do you admit that?
It was false. Yep, she lied. It was false.
No. It's a falsehood that you claim that I don't recognize that. Do you admit that?
Yes, 100%.
Well, that's a different point entirely. God, I need to sneeze. The mask is pretty too. I love how it looks. Fair enough. You know what? I can put it on. There we go. I'll put it on. I just don't know where the bit is. That's the problem. I don't know where the clip comes up. Because Ethan just kind of rambles on about a bunch of stuff. And I don't think it was long enough. To discuss. I'm just trying to see where it comes up. Oh, here it is.
I mean, from what I've seen, any number of videos I've seen from that dude, I think he's like a right-wing dating coach or something.
Yeah, he is dating money 101, baby. Yeah. Selecting stuff. All right, so here he is using the ADL. He accuses me of being in the ADL, and I'll play it.
operation?
Okay.
I don't know, but I heard you survived it, and I heard you survived the Holocaust.
That timeline of that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I heard you in the ADL, bro.
The ADL? No, I'm not. All right, so he says, I heard you're in the ADL, bro, which, like, obviously is, I perceive
I
it as
don't think you're in the ADL, Ethan, if that's what you're going to say.
Well, you said, and I'll quote a tweet that you made.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead. You said, I'll quote, he worked with the ADL to make Zionists a protected class on Twitch. Now, that is an outright lie.
I don't think it's an outright lie.
You worked with the ADL,
didn't you?
Sorry. I
He
worked with the
said
ADL.
numerous times that you have.
Worked alongside. I don't think you're in the ADL.
Oh, that's what you meant when you said I worked with the ADL. I worked beside them, just incidentally together. You didn't mean that I worked with them privately to get people banned. Of course not.
No, I do think that. I stand by that.
Didn't you say you choose your words very carefully?
The ADL
You just told me briefly ago. You choose your words very carefully, Hassan.
I forgot how obnoxious
Sometimes I speak out the side of my mouth. I say you work with ADL. Here you are again repeating the lie with Steiny on video. Go ahead. You have time to
come after me when he knows I'm not anti-Semitic and making these inferences that I am, and like partnering with like the ADL.
Partnering with the ADL. You want to unpack that one there, buddy?
Yeah. Again, partnering with the ADL. That is precisely what took place.
I have never spoken to the ADL, so what does that mean?
I'm not saying you directed the ADL to take action.
You know how silly you feel.
I am kind of saying that. I am implying that you directed the ADL to take action. You are a prominent.
That's a defamatory claim that has zero proof.
You are
and frankly, it's a little Jewish conspiratorial.
You worked for the ADL. I wouldn't have said you worked with the ADL. I would have said you worked for the ADL. Now, what's interesting to me, of course, about this is that you have taken credit for these bans.
Hassan, I do not work with the ADL.
You were a part of the mass smear campaign with
that
your
is not
YouTube
working with the
videos
ADL. Would you say that
falsely claimed
I got nothing to do with the ADL. Blame Frogan for doing a racist fucking panel at TwitchCon to become a viral story independent of me.
Just like cracker is not an anti-white term, except public pressure clearly works on Twitch, and they make erroneous bans when they don't want people coming after them. Twitch has
Frogan repeating the same line that you heard from you.
Numerous instances.
This is what you heard from you.
Everything in your power to push people to bully and harass me, including weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL. To get me banned off Twitch because I made.
So she said I weaponized the ADL. You said I partnered with the ADL. You said I worked with the ADL, but you didn't mean that I spoke to them. You just meant that we were magically skipping along and happened to just
worked alongside
without even seeing each other, just working together in perfect harmony and love. And by the way,
you can weaponize something without working with them directly.
No, I don't think you worked.
Okay, well, you doubled down on it. You said that you do believe that, and I just want to let you know that.
No, I think you directly work with them. I think your goals are aligned on this. Yes, and you're
for Mr. Precise words, say that. Don't say you're partnered with the ADL. Do you understand? You said partnered with the ADL. Me, a Jewish man, you accused without any evidence at all of being partnered with the ADL.
You debate broing.
I said you were working beside them.
What are you talking about?
You are a virulent fucking liar.
Ethan, did you or did you not take ownership over the bans?
I think, yeah, I might have.
I'm sorry. That moment alone, it's like what did you think was going to happen, Ethan? What did you think was going to happen?
I love you.
I'm so sorry. I love you.
I love you, bro. You're the GOAT.
For me?
Wow, how crazy. I'm fucking, is this another hysterical delusion?
Yes, it is. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why. Because we spent
wow, dude, I love you. You're the GOAT, bro.
We spent a good deal of our time in the encampment. If you watch the unedited full live stream, we spent a good deal of the entirety of the encampment running away from him because he kept trying to ask these dumbass fucking questions for his own dumbass podcast.
Please, you're derailing this, and I need to make it.
It's not called derailing. I'm telling you, I was there, and I'm telling you the situation. You are nefariously making it seem as though this person is a massive fan of mine.
Do I need to play the clip again? I'll play it again, you know.
You can play that clip again.
Oh my God.
Can you play the clip where he overlooks my who I am and asks people around? Because that also happened.
You're my hero, bro. I love you. You're the coolest guy in the world.
Look at him. Look at him. This is pure spite.
Okay, that one.
Ethan.
Yes, sir.
Ethan. If you think he was a fan of mine, why'd you call him a Sneeko fan when you interviewed him?
Because he's both. I mean, surely there's a crossover.
Oh, there's a crossover.
Do I need to play the video again? I'll do it again.
My producer and my camera off March. My producer and my camera off March was there. He's in the chat right now.
You're like my I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world.
Listen, he might not be a fan, but you can't accuse me of being delusional for saying that.
Delusional.
Okay, very good. I'm delusional. Let me get to my point, please. So I'm not even asking you to endorse this guy. I'm just simply showing you.
I don't endorse him. And he's not a fan of mine. So why did you claim that he was a fan of mine? Because he fucking clout.
I'll play it again. I mean, I feel like we're running in circles. I'll play the
Palestinian encampment. That's why. That's all it takes for you.
No, it was when he said, "You're the GOAT. You're my hero. I love you."
He didn't know who I was. He was just saying that so he could fucking ask for an interview
for his
podcast.
Okay, who cares? I don't care. So let me move on. Do you want to talk about this for 2 hours, or do you want to actually have a conversation?
He literally just backtracks on. He's like, "Oh, I don't care anymore. Oh, I don't care anymore." It's like, what the fuck, Ethan? And here you are doing it again.
Said.
Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have said that they have been raped.
And you're just clip chimping. You're clip chimping. Holy shit.
The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
The sexual assault I experienced should never happen to any human being.
This Yemeni kid is just
He's
a Yemeni kid with a gun
so
and he's
hard.
not a Houthi, and there is no proof of him being a Houthi.
Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive.
He has stated numerous times now that he is not a Houthi, Ethan. What is clip chimping? Clip chimping is when you take a clip out of context and use it in a way to weaponize, essentially you're weaponizing an out of context clip. Splicing, yeah. But it comes from the fact that clipping on Twitch, because of the clipping feature on Twitch, essentially it's a repackaged word of splicing. but more for Twitch specific related things. Like, let's see. A photographer is occupied looking at the previous shot rather than that. Okay, that's the actual definition, but I'm looking for the Urban Dictionary. Okay, here we go. So, let me just see here. Okay, so here's her Urban Dictionary on it, and I think this one's a pretty accurate one. A clip chimp is a Twitch user who creates and shares out-of-context clips of streamers' streams. Clip chimps often share these clips on Reddit, Twitter, and other social media websites, hoping to embarrass streamers and gain karma. Essentially, that's what it is. So it is splicing, but it's weaponized here. And again, numerous times in that very same interview, he states that he is not a Houthi. He is not a Houthi. And that screenshot from the video where he's asked, "Are you a soldier?" Yes. That does not mean that he is a Houthi soldier. That does not mean anything, Ethan. That is not specific enough. That is too vague. And also, you are implying that a kid, 19-year-old from Yemen, who does not speak English, he does not speak English as a first language, would know what the question was. During the interview with Hassan, they needed a translator to essentially translate what Hassan was asking him and what he was answering to Hassan. There needed to be a translator. Made a stream. Hey, welcome, Poseidon. To weaponize this point again, Ethan, is pathetic. It's racist at this point. It's blatantly racist because he's not a Houthi. You have no sense of fairness when it comes to the arguments you're making. Because instead of thinking about the possibilities of what a piece of evidence could be, instead, you are weaponizing it to fit an agenda that you already have. Again, the kid has said numerous times that he is not a Houthi. And yet you keep emphasizing that he is. You call him a terrorist because you think he's a Houthi. And yet when your wife was in the IDF going on fucking night raids, you brush it aside because they're like, oh, well, she was 18, 19, 17, whatever. And yet you don't share that same sort of forgiveness to the kid from Yemen who has known nothing but fucking war, whose only fucking exposure to America, only exposure to Israel, has been fucking drones bombing the shit out of his country, has been tanks firing at buildings. That is the only exposure that he's ever had in his life. It's absolutely disgusting. It's so fucking gross, man. I hate it so much. Oh my God. Like, it's such blatant, like, it's not just Zionism, it's blatant anti-Arab racism, where you can forgive your wife for going on night raids, kidnapping people, serving in the IDF, but you can't give that same amount of fairness to a 19-year-old teenager from Yemen who doesn't speak English, who has said numerous times that anyone who stands with Palestine, he supports. That includes Jewish people, because when he was asked that question, he was told that many prominent pro-Palestine anti-Zionist movements in America are led by Jews. He commended them. He does not hate Jewish people. The same courtesy. Ethan does not offer anything in return. It is fucking disgusting, man.
He never said Hassan Nasrallah was a good guy.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the fun part. Let's take a...
He's reading chat! He's reading chat!
The fun part.
Good guy.
I can't believe...
He's reading chat! You can see the message right there! You can see the message right there! I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah based! He's reading chat, Ethan! You can... Hold on. You can see it right there! I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah based. You can see the message right there in the chat. This is what we mean by clip chimping. Because, no, this doesn't refute the point. This doesn't refute anything.
I believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the fun.
And then he completely cuts away from whatever Hassan was about to say. Completely cuts away. This is deceptive fucking editing. As an editor myself, I can spot these kinds of edits because this is how editors think. This is how they form a narrative with an edit. I make this kind of edits all the time when I make clips for people. When I would edit clips for like Vaxoria, when I would edit for Cotton, when I edit for Sayu, when I edit for Austin Show. I take the clips from streams and I structure a narrative around it. That means I am making decisions on how the story is being told, and I'm cutting out. I'm not just cutting out gaps, but I'm also making the story as simple to understand as possible. And when you use that kind of ability in a way that's weaponized, you get this. This is a disgusting video.
All right, let's take a look at the complaints, and let's start with my favorite of the three, the very own, the prestigious, the highly acclaimed, the highly analytical Casey Tron.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're going to watch it.
Well, that's a really dumb thing to say, don't you think? Why are you so comfortable? We've given each complaint a clever little title. And
that I feel like a judge would throw this out instantly. If I was a judge, and now I know I might not have gone to law school, but when you are from a family of police officers who are often around courtrooms and courthouses, you get to meet a lot of people. You get to meet a lot of lawyers. You get to meet a lot of people who are judges. I used to be friends with people who were children of lawyers and judges. And you get to learn a few things from them. You get to learn about their perspective. Something like this, if this is actually on the court document, a judge would point this out and take issue with it, I would say. Because it sort of shows malicious intent. It's childish. It's unnecessary. I know a lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan, so we're going to watch it. What is happening? I'm trying to follow, but I lost the plot.
And here's Casey Tron's. She smoked more than she spoke. Casey Tron smokes 42 times during her reaction. And just as a silly thought experiment, we thought, wouldn't it be funny if she spent more time smoking than she did talking? And thinking there was no way that could be true.
Does that matter? It doesn't really matter.
Lo and behold, there's 15 minutes, 40 seconds of commentary versus 18 minutes and 55 seconds of smoking. She spent 3 minutes and 15 seconds longer smoking than she did talking in her quote-unquote
I don't
reaction.
believe you.
And whatever talking she did was just to express how confused she was, presumably from smoke.
Also, motherfucker misspelled commentary. I'm sorry. To be fair, sometimes when you're editing, you're typing these like you're titling your bins or your compound timelines or anything like that, your compound clips. Sometimes you're just typing and whatever, right? You don't really care because you're going to be the only one seeing it at the end of the day. And more often than not, when you're editing these types of videos, like you're just typing what you are familiar with. You don't necessarily care about the typing or the spelling, right? Like I do that too. Like there's going to be times where I have a typo for a bin name, or there's like a capitalization somewhere in the word because I type very fast. I type very quickly. However, if you're going to use screenshots from it in this manner, maybe, just maybe, make sure that commentary is spelt right, you know? Just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought. I don't know.
42 times.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
This is literally early on in the doc. That's still fucking commentary though. That's still fucking commentary though, Ethan. Because that was a very confusing section of the video where you went full anti-communist for some reason. Holy shit. Indeed, let's see.
Indeed, Casey Tron is often too obliterated to comment on the nuke, and instead stares blankly at her computer screen. In a span of 2 hours and 7 minutes, Casey Tron smokes marijuana, frequently in highly concentrated forms through vaporizers, on 42 separate occasions.
Okay, so we have the length, if this is accurate, 2 hours, 7 minutes. I'm assuming that's the VOD because she never posted.
If you like the content.
She never posted her reaction to it on 2 hours, 7 minutes. Now, plus, what, 18, 15? So that's about a 30-ish minute? Okay. Now, that's assuming that she didn't talk over sections or that she didn't skip sections.
At one point, Casey Tron is so wasted that she states, quote, "What is happening? I'm trying to follow, but I've lost the plot." To give you an idea, the majority of her commentary comes down to this.
I don't understand this bit that he's doing.
Yeah, you don't understand it. Sober people agreed with her on that.
He's read more books than you could
doesn't really matter, though.
CPM's coming out of Qatar.
What the hell
you
is
kids
going
love anime,
on?
right?
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
He really likes playing that one clip. I agree with her. Yeah, I agree with her too, to be honest. Now, this is assuming that this stream was only 2 hours and 7 minutes long. If we go to her Twitch, I want to look at her Twitch. I want to look at how long her VODs typically are. How long are her VODs typically? 5, 9. Okay, so she streams a long time. She can have 6-hour streams, 7-hour streams, 10-hour streams, 8-hour. So they could be pretty long. And again, as far as I can tell, no one reposted it.
They do musicals. They're very musical people.
I know. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you... Look! You think I made this? This isn't a music video, Hassan.
And as dumb as all of that is, this is the part that really got her sued.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein.
Yeah, because they want to have someone else's perspective on it. They want to listen to someone else's opinion on it. They don't want to give a view to somebody that they don't support. If they have that right to do so. However, they're going to do it by consuming it through other creators who are giving commentary on it. Ethan. It's ridiculous, man.
So we're gonna watch it. What the fuck is going on here?
Stating outright that her intention of doing this is so that people who don't want to support me can watch it through her is why copyright infringement laws exist. You could not and should not do that, especially if your commentary consists of you taking bong loads.
Bro. I know I said it before, right? But this is tragic. Like, this reminds me of Bald Guy. Bald Guy made a video shortly after the announcement of him suing Ethan was released, and how he would mention people were stealing his content. And it sounds almost identical to how Ethan is talking here. The guy who went from championing fair use, championing the ability to criticize, give critique on, and give commentary on videos, is now in the Bald Guy position. He is now using his financial wealth. He's now using his wealth to punish. The doggos are barking. Someone probably just came home. He's now using his wealth to essentially silence critics. He threatened to sue Noah Sampson. He threatened to sue tons of anonymous Redditors. He has threatened to sue multiple people. Bark, bark. We might need to get a Bodhi emote and a Heidi emote when you guys hear the dogs barking. That would actually be really cool. Because Bodhi barks a ton. Heidi more whines, but... But Ethan has gone from the guy who championed fair use to now being the bald guy. Jesus. We'll get noise. I'll have to get some noise suppressors at some point. I'm bad with audio, so I'll probably have to ask some audio friends for help. But yeah, like Ethan has gone from the guy who championed fair use to now being essentially bald guy. Honestly, his lawsuit with bald guy could be used against him. I would not be surprised if that lawsuit that he was in comes up against Ethan. You always mute the mic if it's too much. It's not that it's too much. It's more like, it's more just like in general, because I have my fan on too, so.
At least try to engage with the content. Whoa, what was that? Oh, sorry. That was a flying star. It almost got me. You know her and you love her, guys. Frogan. Reaction by exiting. Here she is getting up to leave the video running as she steps out of the room. Is that transformative? I guess the judge will decide. She said, quote, "It's time to watch the new Nuke ethically. Hell yeah." Huh. Very smart to say on camera, by the way.
Yeah, ethically as in you are giving commentary, Ethan. You absolutely are just... You're just like blatantly disregarding the fact that the vast majority of these people's commentaries were criticizing you.
She said, quote, "Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me." Well, you are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy that day. Her commentary is so non-existent that even her own fans begin to call her out.
I don't have anything to say, dude, because he's cycling the same fucking points over and over again. What more commentary do you need on him repeating the same fucking points for the whole first hour and 1 minute and 32 seconds? It's been the same shit over and over again. This video could have been condensed into 20 fucking minutes. Like,
that's commentary, but that's true. But that is straight up true. You do repeat talking points. You're repeating talking points here, Ethan. Talking points that you've backtracked on. She's giving commentary right now. How is this an example? How is this an example?
What commentary do you want me to add by like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, he's mentally ill, and he's having a mental breakdown and uploaded it to fucking YouTube? Are you gonna make at least one good point? What do you want me to make a point on?
Oh, I forgot. She also said, "Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing." You may use the bathroom, Frogan, although I don't advise it.
Can I use the bathroom?
He's literally weaponizing the bathroom. Your Honor, this person violated copyright. Oh yeah, how did they do that? They went piss. They went to piss. He's literally weaponizing the bathroom. How dare people who stream multiple hours a day? No way, bro. How dare people who stream multiple hours a day go to the bathroom? Oh my God. That's not copyright infringement. Ethan, that's not copyright infringement, you dumb fuck.
Bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
This into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and...
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happens?
And they were fucking talking about
Well, you just pause it. That's it. You just pause the video, right? Like,
well, how long is Frogan's reaction to Content Nuke? How long is her comment? Oh, look at that. There's no upload of it. Did she make a video about it? So this is her channel. She's never made a post on her YouTube channel. Maybe it's on Twitch. Is she live? I don't think so. I want to see in her VODs, because she is a Twitch partner, so the VOD might still be up, honestly. The VOD might still be up. Let's see. So she streams for multiple hours a day. She's a gaming streamer, a React streamer. Shove Ethan Klein back into the locker, honestly. I want to shove him back to 2016-17. I want my old Ethan back. I miss old Ethan. Okay, so it's not here. So we can't tell how long it actually was, but I'm willing to bet it was much longer than... It was at least an additional 30 plus minutes on top of the original video. Or maybe even 3 hours. Who knows? We don't know how long it is. But judging by based off of everyone else that he's targeted so far, I am willing to bet that Ethan is trying to frame Frogan's React video as if she did nothing, as if she never reacted to it at all, or gave no commentary on it. When in his own evidence, it implies that she had already made commentary about it, that she's not going to repeat talking points. What, she's not going to skip through the video? She might miss something. He needs a reality check. He needs a hug.
Like, you get up and you go to the bathroom, you just pause it. They should be watching for you. But if you get up to go to the bathroom and they keep watching my video, they're clearly not watching for you, right? As lazy and
they are
pathetic
watching.
As her reaction is, this is not why she's getting sued. This is.
Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. First time viewer, time to watch the nuke ethically? Hell yeah. I found my way from Reddit. Hi guys, welcome Reddit people. Reddit people. I came from the H3 Snark Reddit. Ethan is so pathetic while his son is in Japan. I'm bothered, having a great time. Exactly. We're gonna watch it live, yes. He doesn't want people to know when it's dropping because we're all watching through other streamers.
Okay, so already down here, okay, the mic is covering it up, but it's the stream is already 3 hours in. It's already 3 hours in, dog.
And I suggest you all watch it through.
Here's the thing. Here's the important thing to remember, especially when it comes to copyright. Because as somebody who's worked in media, as somebody who has 3 degrees in the field of media, we were hammered. This shit, copyright use, was hammered into our skulls, especially as editors. And one of the important things that they taught us when it came to fair use and copyright was, number one, is it a substitution? Not just for people in general, but for people who would more or less watch the original if it was presented to them. Because here's the thing. I think if people were going to watch the content nuke on their own, would not watch it through a streamer. Because why would they? Why would somebody be like, oh, wow, Ethan released this new video? Instead of what I usually watch Ethan's videos when they come out, but instead, I'm going to go watch it from this random streamer I've never watched before. Does that sound rational? Does that sound like what a normal person would do? No, fuck no, of course not. People who, like... the audience that people like Frogan, people like Denims, people like Casey have shown is that the people who want to see the nuke are not people who would have watched the nuke on their own. They would not have watched the nuke if these streamers didn't react to it. They would have probably ignored it. Which is why they are saying they're ethically watching it. It is why that they are choosing to watch it through a streamer who's providing commentary on the video itself, which makes the video transformative. It is not stealing from your audience, Ethan. It is not stealing from your audience. Because you have to show a direct correlation between your audience not watching the video that you posted versus the video, the streams, and the edited versions of the reacts from those other streamers. That's what you would have to show. Because, again, using someone else's content or copyright does not determine fair use in terms of how much you use, how little you use. As long as you are supplying constructive commentary, and that is the purpose of the video, and that there is substantial amounts of that commentary that is provided, it is fair use. And in the same case, when it comes to people choosing to watch the video, if somebody just wants to watch the content nuke, they'd choose to watch the content nuke. They wouldn't watch a 5+ hour live stream VOD where the nuke only takes up a section of that VOD. Nobody does that. Who's like, oh yeah, I want to go watch the content nuke. I'm going to go watch the Hassan VOD of it. Or they're going to go watch the Frogan VOD of it, which is no longer available, by the way. It is no longer available. Which means, again, the argument that's being made here falls flat. It's like Ethan is forgetting what content fair use is.
Other people as well.
It's the stated malicious intent to steal. They talk about watching ethically, but I learned not to steal when I was 5. Up next is Denims.
Again, ethically as in with commentary, because they don't want to give views and or ad revenue to someone who has stated himself that he actively misrepresented arguments and talking points in his video. That is the problem here. Not everyone is going to watch the VOD, but if they choose to, it's not unfairly used. It's not stealing from the audience, because essentially what Ethan is arguing here is that he is saying people who would have watched my content nuke were stolen by these streamers because they reacted to the VOD, implying that everybody who watched these live streams were people who would have watched the content nuke. because, like, in his mind, ethically watching it isn't watching a live stream. Ethically watching it is just watching his video. However, he is essentially stripping the context of the commentary out entirely, implying that these streamers provided next to no commentary whatsoever. He also is arguing that the commentary seemingly, like, oh, the commentary had, like, here's another thing. It's kind of a off topic, but this is another factor that comes into copyright. Some people think if you're wrong, like, let's say you make a criticism in a commentary that's wrong, and that commentary is being used against you by the copyright holder, saying, well, they said the commentary they're giving is wrong, therefore it's not fair use. No, that's not true. The commentary that you're giving doesn't even need to make sense. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be right. It doesn't need to be wrong. It doesn't need to make sense. Because what you are doing with that video, if somebody wants to watch this video right now that we're reacting to, they wouldn't come to my live stream. They would just go watch the video, because you've seen that we've paused numerous times now. We've been streaming for over an hour and 20 minutes. And this video is only 20 minutes long. It's painfully bad. It's painfully bad, I'm not going to lie. It's bad. It's an argument that's not going to last, that's not going to win in court. If I was a judge, I would literally be kind of scratching my head at this, honestly. Especially, again, when Ethan literally says, oh, I'm not suing the two guys here. Ironically, the two guys that also agreed with me. I'm suing the three women who don't agree with me. And, oh, also, one of them is Lebanese. One of them is Muslim themselves, from Lebanon as well. Oh, that's interesting. It's like, okay, so we're noticing a trend here about Lebanese women that have criticized him, that he has an issue with. And the third one, I don't know Casey's background. I don't know if I know there was somebody in here who was talking about Casey. Are they of any sort of Middle Eastern descent of any type, or are they just female and criticized Ethan? I'm just curious if that was the case. Because again, I feel like Ethan is picking these targets because he thinks he can punish them. He can use his millions of dollars to bully smaller creators who don't have nearly the amount of resources that he does. Frogan's in the middle of a subathon, I believe, at this point in time. And there's probably going to be, she's probably going to have to use a good portion of that those funds towards defending herself. Because of why? Because she went to the bathroom during a React stream. I'll check real quick. Yeah, for sure. I'm just still surprised. I want to see what the commentary community is saying right now. So we know why Ethan wanted to. So here's a tweet from Show Bahanu. I don't know how you say your name. I'm so sorry, my guy. So now we know why Ethan wanted Hassan to watch his content nuke so badly. Ethan says he tricked everyone into watching his original content nuke, so therefore he is going to sue everyone who watched it. Well, except he admits in the video, except he's admitting in his video he did this, which we all know was not his original plan. This also means that if he sues for it, content creation in general, including his own podcast, will no longer be able to watch content. Watch any episode of H3H3 and it's largely about other content being just as he describes it. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like, from what I've seen of his podcast, it's usually watching other people. Let's see here. A lot of people are pointing out the legal issue here. It's really tragic. I'm sorry. It's tragic that Ethan has fallen off so much. She tweeted about the video. Oh, I saw. Yeah, she's doing a live stream fun for it. Honestly, I might go raid her after we react to this because I feel like we should give her that support.
And honestly, just take a look at this, guys. It's a nightmare on Denham Street.
Yeah, this is not a serious lawsuit. I'm sorry. If you're having fun with calling with all these names, a lawyer is going to literally chuck this out. Or any judge is going to chuck this out. Being like, this is not a stand-up comedy routine. This is not a comedic stage for you to legally mock people. You are in a courtroom for adults. This is an adult space. Act like one. And I would not be surprised if that judge asked him to rewrite this lawsuit without these cheeky names.
Not only did she chair react, but she was kind enough to write her name right at the top just so that we knew that she was stealing my content and it was her room and nobody else's. Judge, did you...
What? What? I'm sorry, what was that? So wait. As if anybody would be confused.
Do you know that we're on Denham Street right now? Here's some quotes from Denham's. We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the nuke views. Yeah, I'm going to stream it. Since he's confirmed it's coming out today, I'm going to stream it. That is very explicit.
Yeah,
Denham
he's
said,
going to stream it with
well,
commentary.
Guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, give me a follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like my content. Your content? The Queen of Self-Owned.
Yeah, it's her content. It's her fucking content, dude. She is supplying over 3 fucking hours of commentary on top of your video, which is only about an hour and 50 or hour 30. I don't remember. You're going to tell me that she did nothing in that time that wasn't fair use. You're going to tell me that she's just sitting there like this? And gave no reacts? Gave no commentary? Gave no criticism? Fuck off, man. Fuck off.
Down timer so we could tell exactly how long she was away. After being gone for a few minutes, she returns and then sits silently for another couple of minutes eating.
I'm going to go pee, and hopefully, when I'm back, they're done with this.
Okay, so she went pee.
You do look better.
Mr. 305.
Okay, so the content nuke hasn't even started yet. You're telling me that she stole your video before even fucking the video was out.
5.
He's, again, weaponizing this.
Do this. I have an alternate.
We're relying on you to stay live so we don't give more views on the nuke. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. Since he confirmed it's coming out today, we're gonna stream it. If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else. If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. Because I'm going to be honest, I did not want to watch that by myself.
Let me also commercialize it by asking you to reward me financially for stealing his content. That is like chef kiss. By the way, Denham's had a very successful stream. She had 43,000 people watching her live. Take a look at the title of her Twitch stream. Ethan Klein Hassan Content Nuke Watch Party. A watch party? I don't think that's fair use. Now, Denham's, of course, always delivering the goods. She went on this dude's podcast to debate fair use.
Okay, but Ethan, are we just going to ignore the fact that the commentary was over 3 hours worth? You're going to tell me, again, that in those 3 hours, she did not provide commentary.
And would you be surprised if I told you she said a lot of incriminating things in that podcast? The queen of self-own never disappoints.
I want to be clear on my opinion on like filler content and stuff. Like, I think filler content, like, you shouldn't do it. I know I do it as a React streamer, and I try to do it only when I do it with like Vox videos or Vice videos and stuff like that, because at least I'm not like directly ripping from one content creator and not like a whole team and stuff. And most of those videos have like 5 million views. I only get like 500 viewers. Like I'm taking maybe 50 views from the video. It's a lot harder to feel like, I guess, bad about that. Whereas like I would feel very bad about doing that to like a single content creator. The majority of people say that they literally wouldn't watch Hell's Kitchen unless I was streaming it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm reacting hard enough. You know, I'm sure if you click on a random part in the video, I might not be saying anything, sure, whatever. And I might walk away from the screen. But it's about like the communal thing. It's why like fucking Toast started streaming Death Note. It's not about the actual show at a certain point. It's the same reason you watch shows with your friends. You want to watch it with other people. A lot of people go to watch streamers on Twitch for their React content almost as a curator. So they don't actually want to go.
Ethan. Some of these are fair use though, because what she's describing is the intent. It's the intent. People who want to watch something with other people aren't going to watch your video by themselves. You are not entitled to people watching your video if they don't want to watch it.
Go through YouTube themselves and watch a bunch of videos, and they probably never will go through YouTube and click a bunch of videos. They like going to Twitch because they like to have it as like, this streamer is curating fun content that I want to watch.
Like, I'm sure
From the people that I've talked to, the people who watch Twitch
I'm
content
also curious
are specifically
what Ethan is cutting out of this, because again, we've already seen that Ethan is fully willing to clip chimp shit out of context. I am more than willing to suspect that Ethan has ripped content out of this. And I'm sure Denims, when she gets to this video, I'm sure she will probably go to this interview and expand upon it further.
there to watch it so they don't have to scroll through YouTube and find a video they like. If someone watches content, I already said this, if someone watches content on someone else's stream, there is a very low likelihood that they're going to go watch it separately and give you like the view or the like. Or the people who are watching content on Twitch, curated Twitch content on Twitch, aren't necessarily people that would be watching content on YouTube.
That, my friend, is called theft, and you're a thief, and now I'm suing you. This is just a testimony to how brazen and how safe they've, gotten. That she thinks she can go out in public on video and say shit like, I'm stealing this content because I want to. I'm coping even though I know it's stealing. When people watch it with me, they're definitely not going to go watch the original. Like, you are way too comfortable committing crimes out in the open.
Civil crime's not a crime. Civil offense, not a crime. Oh, Ethan. Ethan. Can I also just point out, I just want to say, as how Ethan is reacting in this clip, like his mannerisms, the way he's talking is very...
Who was a war criminal? They're led by Netanyahu.
Now let's go to an older video. This is...
God forbid you throw up the fucking...
Hi there. It's me, your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys. I've lost 100 pounds. And I've pissed off 75% of the internet. Probably a lot of you guys, too. Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today. All right. I always thought that, despite our differences, there was one thing we could all agree on.
And then look at how he's talking here and his mannerisms.
Go watch. I'm coping video, gotten. That she thinks she can go out in public on video and say shit like, I'm stealing this content because I want to. I'm coping even though I know it's stealing. When people watch it with me, they're definitely not going to go watch the original. Like, you are way too comfortable committing crimes out in the open. Well, there.
It comes off, I think he's unscripted in that part. I think that's what it is. It's that he's just not scripted. And when he is scripted, in Ethan's content that's scripted, he's a lot more calm. He's a lot more tame when he's going on these kind of rants because he knows what he's going to say. Here, it's very obvious that he didn't know what he was going to say, where he has to actually add in an edit to say, no, actually, I didn't mean crimes. I mean civil violation. Also, it's still not going to fit your narrative there, Ethan.
There you have it. 3 separate lawsuits for 3 separate geniuses. Now, I want to make it clear again, and I hope it's been obvious about why I'm suing these 3 people and not others.
Because they criticized you. My question here as well is, by the logic that we have seen here, the fact that, you know, Denims has over like nearly 4 hours of reacting to this to his content nuke. By this logic, he should also be suing Hassan, right? Because it seems like running time doesn't matter ultimately because he completely leaves out Denim's runtime. I think it's obvious we know why he's suing these people. Because they're smaller creators that he can impose his will on because he has millions of dollars, and that these 3 creators also criticized him. He is essentially targeting people that he thinks are vulnerable, people he thinks are smaller than him. Which is exactly what Bald Guy would do. That's exactly what Bald Guy did. And it's gross. It's exactly gross. He has literally become Bald Guy. His original legacy of being the guy who fought for fair use for all sorts of creators on YouTube has been shattered. He is no longer the same Ethan that he used to be. If you criticize him, he will sue you. If you are a woman and you criticize him, he will sue you. If you are a woman and you criticize his content and criticize his actions, criticize his arguments, and you're also Arab, he will sue you. If you come from a country in the Middle East and you criticize his content and you're a woman, he will sue you. You have become the thing that you fought against, Ethan, and it's fucking gross.
These people not only violated all of the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously. And that's the part that really got me. I think if you're a reactor on Twitch, for the most part, if you make a good faith effort to comment, and if you make a good faith effort to promote the author, to link to them, to try to drive traffic to the original video, I think you're probably pretty much doing the right thing, and that's fine. And
yes, I want people to promote my video that's filled with falsehoods, stuff that I admitted myself, the creator of this video, that were false. Straight up, he just wanted promotion. Such a diaper baby attitude. Baby man. Little baby man. Ethan, little baby man. He has a poopy in his diaper. A little stinky. He's pooing on the floor like his dogs.
I would never sue someone for that. Take it to these 3 absolute morons to state their intention to steal my property on video. You know, and to all the detractors who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement, I just have this to say.
Oh, yeah?
I don't care. What I do hope, though,
right there. He just says it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that he is being a hypocrite. He doesn't care that he's targeting women. This shit is so it's so bad, bro. It's so fucking bad. Might be worse. This might be worse than the nuke itself. In terms of pure argument, of like the arguments itself. He's trying to weaponize people going to the bathroom. Thought it was going to be something big because these morons were hyping it up. Yeah, they were hyping it up, and maybe they are, but they're going to be shooting themselves in the foot.
Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great time.
So you did it for money. He just did it for money. Also, again, going back to, like, United States, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Also, the fact that he is trying to weaponize, like, in the lawsuit itself by referring to, like, trying to mock the creators in a way where it's like Frogan reacting by exiting as if that's all she did. Or in another section here, let me find the one. I need to find the one for... This is my favorite one. This is my favorite one here.
And my God,
favorite
is
part.
she the queen of that?
It's very obvious from the way that guy's talking, he's a Sneeko fan.
Oh my God, bro, I love you. Hassan, can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have...
Again, one of the main things that he backtracked on in the debate. Literally, he's like, oh, I don't care anymore. When he was wrong. When Hassan literally pointed out that the guy was not a fan of his and was, in fact, a Sneeko fan. And all Ethan could do was just replay that same video over and over again, realizing that that doesn't help his argument. And then it's this part here. This part is hilarious.
Have been released so far have said that they've
This next part, actually.
The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
The sexual assault I experienced should never happen to any human being.
Jeez, what's this? Oh, Washington, June 17th. June 17th, a more recent statement. Which past statements contradict this one. Past statements contradict this one. Literally, one of the hostages came forward about how, yeah, they didn't do that. No, they weren't doing any of this to us. And then literally the people of Israel got so upset that they had to they essentially had to remake their statement. And their statement itself was like, oh, I heard from this one other woman hostage who witnessed this other thing, And it wasn't firsthand accounts anymore. It was no longer firsthand accounts. And no one is denying that they might have happened. No one is denying that they never happened. We're going based off of the statements that were made. That's what Denims is doing. Again, historical contextual viewing, in a sense.
Go look at them.
The sexual assault I experienced should never happen to any human being.
This Yemeni kid is just a Yemeni kid with a gun and is not a Houthi, and there is no proof of him being a Houthi.
Are you a soldier? Yes.
Again, he's not a Houthi. He literally said he wasn't a Houthi. He said he wasn't a Houthi. Oh my...
That seems pretty definitive.
He never said Hassan Nasrallah was a good guy.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the...
He didn't, though. He didn't. And the funniest part is...
Never said Hassan Nasrallah was a good guy.
The funniest part about this... The funniest part about this clip, if you look at the chat in the video, what does this message say? This chat message. Well, it's very blurry. But I'm sure if we go find the original one, if I'm editing this into a short, I'll have found the original one. It will absolutely say, I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah based. Meaning, Hassan's reading chat. This is not a statement that Hassan is saying. This is something that he is reading another chatter is saying. Which is not at all contradictory with what fucking
that seems
with
pretty
what Denim
definitive.
says here.
He never said Hassan Nasrallah was a good guy.
Yeah, Hassan never said that. Hassan has never said that. He was reading a chat message. But Ethan, being a clip chimp, is weaponizing that clip. Is weaponizing that clip to try and push this narrative.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the fun part.
This video is bad. This is a bad video. It's not good at all. Low key, Ethan. Low key showcasing. He's choosing. Got popping in my timeline just for your bullet pick all over again. Keep posting up on my timeline, and it's just your bullet pick. I'm so sorry, Ghost. Just woke up like a minute ago. Well, we just reacted to the new video, and it's bad. It's not a good video. I don't know if it's as worse as the Content Nuke original one, because the Content Nuke itself has a bunch of anti-Arab racism in it, and also just Israeli propaganda that essentially is manufacturing consent for a genocide in Gaza. However, this video in itself is demonizing 3 considerably smaller female creators, 2 of which have Lebanese descent. And if you know anything about Israel and Lebanon, they do not like each other at all, historically. And he is using this video to weaponize harassment against those 3. Meanwhile, directly showcasing his hypocrisy right at the end of the video by saying, I don't care if you think I'm hypocritical because I just want my money. And he thinks that he's going to get that money because he is picking smaller creators to pick on. He is picking smaller creators who don't have the same financial resources that he does. He could go after Asmongold. He could go after XQC. Hell, he showed XQC earlier on as somebody who actively was more malicious, who wasn't supplying commentary, who would re-upload his own content. What a fall from grace. This is such a fucking sad fall from grace. From a creator that used to make great stuff to now just suing anybody who calls him a Zionist. Anybody who calls him out for being a hypocritical shitbag. You know what's funny? There's some people out there who say that I am trying to use like Palestine or Zionism to, like, I guess repaint my image or something. Even though I have been very pro-Palestine for years prior. You can find tweets from me being pro-Palestine all the way back in 2023. But I never used the platforms I had to advocate for Israel, or not advocate for Israel. I've never used my platforms to advocate for Palestine as hard as I am now. And that's because Ethan. because that content nuke on Ethan was what made me, I guess, radicalized me in a sense, because I never watched Hassan before then. I at all. Like I engaged with Hassan's tweets. I never followed him prior to that. I barely even knew who Hassan was. But then once Ethan's video made me realize who Hassan was, or made me just like actually go investigate who Hassan was. And I started to actually learn stuff. And then Noah Sampson's video came out. And it was the moment where it's like, okay, enough is enough. This is ridiculous. So I thank you for that, Ethan. Thank you for, I guess, radicalizing me to be pro-Palestine, to see what Zionism actually is and what you have become. You know what? Maybe Bald Guy should have won. I don't mean that seriously. Obviously, he shouldn't have won. But maybe if Ethan didn't win with the grand slam that he did in that lawsuit, maybe he'd still be humble to this day. Because he's no longer humble anymore. He has become Bald Guy. And just like Bald Guy in that court case, he's gonna fucking lose. Just like he's been losing in the courts. He's been losing in court cases since. He has to pay a shit ton of money to... Oh, what's his name? He's a guy, he got sued for defamation. I don't remember his name, but... Yeah, so short stream today. I'm going to go start editing clips from this VOD right away. Well, I don't know. I don't remember who the guy is. I don't remember the guy's name specifically. I know he's some like guy that Ethan slandered, basically. And he lost in a court case for. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I think what we're going to do... One of the streamers that is being sued by Ethan is Casey Ton.
Well, Casey, in America...
I think... Let's go raid Casey. Let's go give Casey some attention. I think she deserves them. So go give Casey some support, guys. I'll catch you guys later this weekend, probably. I'll probably be on later this weekend. We'll see. You enjoyed your commentary? Yeah, I'll probably upload this actually to YouTube too, honestly. Because I think that this is genuinely a important thing to discuss, because Ethan is going to try and ruin things for everybody. All because he got criticized. And people don't like him anymore. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Oh, thank you for the head pats.